like the bow tie look.
I just I have a grievance. I have a bone to pick with KU's jerseys. Maybe it's more with Adidas. I just think Adidas there isn't really a good Adidas jersey out there.
Adidas doesn't get as much as it could out of these schools in terms of cool jersey designs. That's a way to put it.
You get mad at Phil Knight for having like 5 new jerseys every single season, but at least like they're pushing the boundaries. You know, they might not all
they're
be
doing
great.
cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
he likes to deck Oregon out. Sometimes Oregon has some misses, but a lot of the time, Phil Knight.
Well, I'm talking about all sports. Like, it feels like every school.
But Phil Knight obviously decks out Oregon the best. But
yeah, I mean, we're trying so hard with football to like do new things, but we just don't have any consistency with it. Like, some I'm like, okay, those look real good, and then there's times I'm like, man, who picked this?
Well, I don't even know. Do you think what if Lance goes, I want to be in decision of the apparel, the Brandon of the team. I want this football team to be crafted in my imaging. It's like
Lance becomes the lead jersey designer.
He's
what if
Jerry
we just
Jones.
go back to like the 1980s for our jersey design? Just like the mesh, like, all right, it just says Kansas and a number.
Tearaway jerseys. It's like, I don't like it when my boys get held back. I want those jerseys to rip. All right.
Halfway through the play, Jalen Daniels is just in his shoulder pads.
It looks like a prison game. So here we are, Golden Valley Views. It's been a minute off season, and I want to say, for what I thought was going to be a loud off season, it has been a quiet one. The biggest noise has been Sean Snyder coming, which we'll address at the beginning of this.
Lance's new contract is still like big.
Well, yeah, and there's some. I see that Kansas City Star said there's a key. I'm not paying for this article, but they said that there's a key decisions coming up right now in terms of for Lance Leipold in terms of his contract with. I think they have to start construction on the stadium this summer, and they've already acquired the funding. So what was so far to start this off? What was your biggest takeaway so far this offseason that you think has been the most impactful thing?
Well, it starts with like Lance making the university get serious. I think that we only picked up a few guys in the transfer portal from the last time we spoke. So like in terms of that, like we have a ton of returning guys, so that isn't as big of a deal. But Lance making sure that the university is serious about stadium upgrades, facility upgrades, and just quality of life upgrades around the program in general, not just the money increase.
I mean, for me, honestly, how quiet it's been has been such a great thing, because I just remember past years being like, okay, if we can hold this together, we can build something, and it just was not happening. And so, I mean, sure, we lost some guys in the transfer portal, but it wasn't like, all right, Jalen Daniels left, Daniel Highshaw left, Devin Neal left, and it would be like, we are screwed. So I didn't have that moment of it's all over. Like, I feel confident going in with this team, and I'm just pretty happy that we got a lot of returners from last year.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something good. If I look right here and pull up the information correctly, we brought ourselves 4 boys from Standard Recruiting. Jaden Ham, who's actually one of the greatest KU recruits. I think he's like in the top 30. He's arguably the best tight end recruit. And with that, tight ends have been something that's been huge under the Lance Leipold era, is that we like those tight ends. So then Calvin Clements, Saraze Buncombe, I probably butchered his name if you guys know how to say it, athlete out of California, and then Tony Terry. And then we got ourselves 10 boys through, letters of intent that they haven't officially committed or enrolled yet, but they're coming with Blake Harold, Logan Brantley, Marcus Calvin, Taylor Davis, Keenan Kubeka, right? Johnny Thompson, Jared Sample, Jacoby Davis, Jameel Croft, and Akil Hubbard, the safety. So we got those guys, and then we got ourselves 10 transfers, which is pretty crazy. So 24 new guys. That's wild. We're ending up with the 42nd best transfer rank and the 67th best overall recruiting. Is there one guy that sticks out in your mind that you're excited to see play who could be an impact player going to next season?
I like Dylan McDuffie. So Dylan McDuffie, he was a guy that Lance recruited at Buffalo a while ago. 2 years ago at Buffalo, after obviously Lance was gone, he ran for like 1,000 yards at Buffalo, and then he transferred to Georgia Tech last year. But he was kind of buried under the depth chart. Georgia Tech, it's obviously very competitive for running backs. So he was buried on the depth chart, Georgia Tech. So coming to KU, he's not going to be the number one because Devin Neal is. I think this is like them going out and getting him is like something about they're probably trying to ease up Highshaw's workload because he's had injuries the last 2 years, which I think is a good thing because Kai Thomas just wasn't a productive third running back. And then when Highshaw went down, obviously, it was all Devin Neal. We're just in general of easing workloads. Like,
is there any information on Daniel Highshaw before?
Last I saw, but it was like a month or like a few weeks ago, I saw that everything was fine. Like, he should be good to go next year.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, he's been practicing.
Yeah,
just want to make sure.
He should be good to go next year, but it's just in general, I think that if there's a guy to come in and be able to make an impact, I would lean towards a running back in general. And I mean, he's proven that he's ran for 1,000 yards at the FBS level, so he's the guy to look forward to, I think.
Man, I love Dylan McDuffie, but it's one of those things that the timing probably couldn't be worse for him because Devin Neal showed that he is a stud. Highshaw was a stud before the injury. And so if they can go three backs and actually split time, allow them to still get in a rhythm, like it's kind of what we talked about with Bill Self playing seven guys. It's just not everyone gets to be in their rhythm. So the workload split up, I'm very interested about with McDuffie, but man, if things work out, we're going to be unstoppable on offense.
So who's your choice in if you had is it McDuffie as well if you had to choose a recruit or a transfer?
One guy I'm really excited to see, it might take a little bit to see him on the field, is Jaden Ham out of Eudora, just because he's a local guy. He was committed to Arkansas, SEC, and getting him to flip to KU is just a big deal. Like, that can change a lot of things locally because we have good talent in the Kansas City area. I mean, not usually star material, but it's something that can change the landscape of KU football.
Understandable. And, he seems like, 6'4", 225, big kid at 18. Like you said, I'm pretty sure Trevor Cardell and, I think Fairchild's left, right?
I still think we got all of our tight ends from before Fairchild, Casey, and Cardell. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's a deep-ass tight end room. And, yeah, I'm excited to see him. For me, the easy choice would have been Logan Brown. I'm going to go over here with Austin Booker out of Minnesota. He's going to be the guy who replaces Lonnie Phelps. And he's massive, 6'6", 240, runs like a freight train. If we can just get pressure to a quarterback, I think that's something that we've lacked. I mean, we had it last year with Phelps, but, Gage Keys is another guy. If Booker and Key can just go out there and just be dogs on the edge, I think, and hunt the quarterback, I think we'll have a good year. And Booker's somebody I like, just the 6'6", 240. I really like that frame, and he just moves well.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, we just need – it's not – one person isn't going to replace Lonnie. So, like, him and Gage Keys and what's the guy we got from Utah State? Patrick Joyner. He was recruited by Miami and then transferred to Utah State because he was buried in the depth chart. So, like he's, like, the three of them. It's going to be – and also the guys returning, like, Lonnie Phelps is it's tough to replace that. That's one of the positions that I'm most interested to see how it works out this year.
Yeah, I'm really curious about what the defense is going to look like. Are we going to play that bend don't break kind of style again, or like we trying to just force turnovers? Because there's just a few different ways you can play defense in college football, and I don't know if we play that bend don't break, I'm going to get real frustrated real fast. Just because I hate giving up those 3rd and 46s, and oh man, it hurts me.
You never feel safe during the game. You never feel safe when that shit happens.
I'm the type of guy that I in college football, you got to go the Greg Williams school of route. Just blitz zero.
Dr. Heat, baby.
I mean, the teams with the most dominant fronts are always good because that's the key to success. You just got to overwhelm the opponent in the trenches.
All right. So we got to talk about something. If this is a KU football show, there's been a man. I'll pull up the tweet that you guys sent us, but Sean Snyder. I don't know the situation. I was an idiot. I thought this was Dan Snyder's, the Washington Commanders' son's owner. But yeah, someone fills in why people are outraged.
So, I mean, even before we hired him, I heard from people within like the K-State program back in 2014-ish, saying that Snyder's not liked among players, among staff. Like there just wasn't a good relationship between him and what was going on. It might have been he's trying to live up to the Snyder name. It might have been just like he thought he had more power than what he did. But man, he is good with special teams. Like if he can work with these players, build those relationships, then I think our special teams is in good hands, which is something I can't or couldn't have said for the past 20 years for KU.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I do think that he won't have the freedom to do if this stuff is indeed true. Like, he won't have the freedom to do this at KU because he doesn't. There's no Snyder name at KU. It's not like at K-State where his dad built the program from nothing. But like Owen said, we have been bad on special teams for so long, and one thing K-State has always seemed to be good at, especially under the Snyder days, was goddamn special teams. So obviously, like if this takes us over the edge and makes us elite at special teams, I would love that. But I just want us to not have special teams miscues all the time. And if he can do that, then it'll be a successful hire.
Yeah, I was originally kind of on edge with it a little bit, not really fully bought in on the hire. But I mean, Bryson had some tweets about it and he seems confident. And so I'm going to kind of just ride this one out. I'm trying not to be skeptical about it. And I mean, it's hard to get worse than where we were at with special teams.
I was just going to say, I agree with Owens. I think it just comes down to we are on board because we trust Lance. We trust Lance to figure it out. And
trust the process.
Yeah, trust Lance, man. If Lance thinks it'll work, we don't have to be skeptical. This isn't like when we hired Charlie Weiss. Like things are different now.
Man, I think that Charlie Weiss hire just seemed like such a home run at the time, and it put such a sour taste in our mouths for a long time.
He randomly got brought up. Our teacher in my constitutional law class brought up Charlie Weiss in class. It was so funny.
I think it's time for us to trust again.
Oh man. Yeah, we can finally say that, and it's been a long fucking time.
We just didn't give Charlie Weiss enough time. He had a 10-year plan.
He had a lot of time at Notre Dame, and he was bad there too. So.
He had a 10-year plan. It took 10 years to implement. 5 years to tear down. 5 years to rebuild.
It's just funny because he was still getting paid from Notre Dame when he took the KU job, and then when he left, he was getting paid from both schools. One of the best bag getters of all time.
You want to hear a great thing? So I went to a city council meeting for a land bank program that was introduced. You can go check out the article on ksnt.com. But the opening slide to Spencer Duncan's PowerPoint presentation had a Zig Ziglar quote. Let me pull. I have a Zig Ziglar book. You guys have no idea who Zig Ziglar is. My backpack isn't here. The book I have is Zig Ziglar, How to Sell in the 1990s. And it's like I think he's dead, but he was like a millionaire who like made millions selling vacuums and knives door to door. So it's like a motivational. I've never seen anyone reference Zig Ziglar. I thought Luke would know who Zig Ziglar is. It was a quote. It was just a Zig Ziglar
My
quote.
dad mentioned him to me before.
Yeah, I got the book. I got
salesman stuff. Now that you mentioned,
my dad gave me the book when I was 12, and he was like, "Read this," and he's like, "You can sell anything." And it's like motivation. Yeah, but little tidbit there for you guys. Not as funny as I thought it was, but it was funny to me.
I mean, I just had to look up who he was real quick. Like,
oh,
he's so open a new tab, and be like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
So obscure. You're like not missing out. All right. So here we are. Shout out G1 Sports or whatever. They made a fantastic graphic that I would have never been able to make all my life. They color coded this bitch. Like that's something else. Can we agree?
I see no red on that.
Let's go. That's the first thing I saw.
So can we agree? G1 Sports on YouTube, you made this graphics. They're not even a KU fan. They just have a series where they do like I think the whole Big 12, and they were on their Kansas series, and they had this in the video. So shout out them. I did not make this. I wouldn't even thought of this. So
they got the win probabilities and everything. Dude.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't even know what this like. It's not. We haven't even seen the spring games yet, for the most part, and he's already got the win probabilities out there. You gotta love it.
You gotta love it. So I had to snag. All right. So right now they're saying our gimme game is Missouri State, which we all knew. And basically all the games in white are 50-50s is the way I'm interpreting it. The Nevada game is is an almost gimme game. We should win it. And Texas and K-State are our toughest games, with Illinois, BYU, Central Florida, OK State, Oklahoma, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati all being toss-ups. Are we going bowling again?
I mean, statistically, we should be if all those are to-ups minus the Missouri State, Nevada. I mean, that leaves us 8 games of 50-50. Should be 4-4. You get that 6 wins.
Yeah, like
we're doing math here.
Yeah, I mean, like as of now, like if we're just looking at from a neutral, like healthy roster standpoint, like I like our odds, man. We're gonna be involved in a lot of close games, I think.
Well, just from a quick glance, tell me if I'm wrong. You guys are closer keeping up with college football. Missouri State, Nevada. That's 2 games we'll win.
Yes. Yeah.
Cincinnati sucks since Luke Fickell left, right?
I mean, they have they haven't been able to really replace Desmond Ritter, but
since that whole championship team, they've been downhill.
I would say
they're still okay.
Or once we hit October, we're gonna know if Cincinnati's real or not.
Yeah.
Which are the bad team? Which are the teams that aren't good in white that you guys would say are closer to a 60% win chance than 40?
Probably Illinois. I mean, I think did they play, or was that Purdue that played in the Big Ten championship game? But it was like the shitty half of the Big Ten, that had a bunch of teams that were like 7-5 and like 8-4 and shit. And Illinois was one of those teams in like this shit, like maybe good, maybe not good part of the Big Ten. We are playing at home, so that does help our chances. I'd say that's a game that I think that we could pull it out. And I think against the Mormons, like the Mormons, I like our chances against the Mormons to pull up.
So you think we could go 4-0 to start the season?
Realistically, yes. Like last year we did it. So
first loss could be Texas, is in your minds.
I mean, we're probably not going to beat Texas, but again, we've beaten Texas before when nobody thought we could beat Texas. So twice actually. So I don't know.
Okay,
I don't think we will beat Texas.
So let's go. We go 4-1 to start the season. Now from Central Florida to the K-State game, what do you think right there? That's 6 games.
I mean, I think we probably beat Tech. I think we probably beat Tech at home this year.
Because if we split those, if we go 3-3 in that stretch, we're bowling. We're 7-4 going up against Cincinnati. Or
the Oklahoma game is going to be interesting because, like, I don't know, man. Maybe does Oklahoma have a bounce back year? They should.
They have the Miami coach, right? Former Miami coach.
No, they still have what's his face, that one dude who was the assistant under Dabo at Clemson.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, they weren't that good last year, but like I don't know.
Isn't Gabriel still there?
Yeah, Gabriel's still there, I think.
He tanked his draft stock.
I mean, he got hurt.
I know, but like he was supposed to be a first rounder this year.
Just didn't look good in the offense. But then again, that the team just as a whole was bad.
I
don't know. Spencer Rattler's at what's his face? Spencer
I know.
From South Carolina and saved his draft stock, low-key.
Didn't really save his draft stock. Made himself.
They beat a few good teams at the end of the season to get some optimism.
Owens, what's your final season prediction looking at this?
So a lot of my breakdowns are more about how they are traditionally, which really is not like a good way to look at it because that means KU is going 0-12 this year. But I mean, I'm looking at it. Missouri State's a win. I think Illinois is a win. Nevada's a win. Anything against the new Big 12, so BYU, UCF, Cincinnati, I think those are wins. Tech and Iowa State will get one of those two. Oklahoma State's going to pound us into the dirt, and then we'll come back looking competent against Oklahoma at home. K-State game, it's going to be a full house. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. There's still going to be a decent amount of K-State people, but that's going to be such a fun atmosphere. Like, one thing I love about KU and K-State fans, when we play in football at least, is when we get together or like when we play, people tailgate together. Like, it's friends, it's family all coming together and hanging out where, like, yes, it's still a rivalry. You want to win that game, but it's not like, it's just so much fun to get together. It's like Thanksgiving football with your family, having a nice touch game in the backyard. Except, I don't know, it's real football, but still, like, it's just that kind of environment from how I see it. So I could see us going 8-4. That's my optimistic take. But I have a question for you guys. What is considered a successful season? What's a failed season?
Bowling again, just going 6-6 at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say making a bowl game and hopefully getting it done this time and winning in a bowl game. But but the whole point is just we want to make it there.
So if we go 5-7, are you disappointed?
Yeah, because we didn't make a bowl game
season.
Yeah, because I want to make a bowl, and we have a bunch of guys returning from a team that made a bowl game, barring injuries.
Yeah, I was about to say, unless we're like decimate, like let's say Jalen Daniels like suffers like a torn ACL, then so does Jason Bean out for season.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. And we're playing Ethan Vasco, and then we lose Devin. Like literally, if we just lose like either our entire offense or if we lose our entire defense, but if we're 100% healthy and everything, like I expect us to be better. I mean. Am I thinking Jalen Daniels is overrated in KU football fans' minds? Yes, I think like he went on. It's going to be a bit different. There's tape on him now and stuff. And he
started the season so unbelievably hot. Like
I don't know what offense we're going to see at this point. I saw 5 different offenses last year. Even when Daniels came back, we couldn't go back to that old offense we had. So, and the other thing is, I don't think with the offense we ran during that 5-game win streak is sustainable for a full season because we're just running it down people's throat. And then just literally we wouldn't throw it short. Okay.
But the Arkansas game, we just continued to throw the ball the entire fucking game because we couldn't run, but we still kept up with them. So like, I don't know. Jalen Daniels is like he started last year like on a hot streak, and I don't know if like he'll be able to like he was leading the country in passer rating through the first 4 games. Like that probably won't happen this year. But he will still, you would think, would be a very productive quarterback. And, with the guys that we have all returning, barring any injuries, we should be making a bowl game. That's a success, in my opinion.
So I think where I draw the line is if we have 5 wins going into the Cincinnati game. Like if we lose against Cincinnati, go 5-7, I'm not super disappointed in the season. I don't think I'd call it a failure. But if that's where we pick up the 5th win, I would call it a failure.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because if we're going in that last week and we're playing for something, then I'm excited.
Yeah, but that's fair.
If it's already kind of after K-State, we're 4-7. It's like, man, I have
playing to be an academically eligible team to get into a bowl game at that point. We're relying on teams declining games and being academically eligible or whatever, or the other tiebreaker requirements that they have to be a 5-7 bowl team. And we don't want to have to rely on that. I think that's a fair point because, if we lose in the last day of the season and we end 5-7, it's we'd be disappointed, but it wouldn't be as much of a failure because we just missed it.
Yeah, it would be. I had fun this season. Disappointed it's over, but it's KU football.
No, I agree, guys. I agree with that. And I just want us to. I just think if we can go bowling again, its momentum will lead to better recruits, maybe even a 5-star. It's just. And I also think this offseason is when we actually go for a quarterback. Maybe unless Lance doesn't believe in that because we don't know if Lance is one of the coaches where he's you don't need a 4-star quarterback. You just need a 3-star. But because there are coaches out there in college football who are the quarterback isn't the missing piece. He's just a game manager. But I could see that what
that really is more of a thing at higher levels than it is at Nick Saban for the longest time didn't recruit good quarterbacks, and Georgia won a national title.
That's why, I don't think
those teams get 5-stars at every other position, so they don't need to worry about getting a quarterback because they're NFL talent factories on the offensive and defensive line and at running back. KU is not that, so KU does need to have a good quarterback.
That's why I'm thinking in the 2024 offseason, don't be surprised KU, because I think that's either if Jalen Daniel has a great season, he'll be leaving. Bean won't have any, eligibility left. So I think that year we'll either be one of the top players in the transfer portal for one of the best quarterbacks, or we'll be going for one of the top young guys,
Yeah.
So to wrap up this episode, we're going to talk real quickly about the stadium and some information that I just read. Not only did they win a $50 million state grant, but April 10th in 5 days, we will be getting a new locker room. KU announced at the end of February that they would begin on a state-of-the-art locker room and weight room renovation April 10th, immediately following spring practice for the Jayhawks. This upgrade will be the first in loan of projects that will aim to transform the university's Gateway Project 11th in Mississippi. They are going from a 6,000 square foot locker room to an 8,000 square foot locker room that will be installed by July 7th, complete in time for the start of training camp. The April 10th start date for the construction is notable as head coach Lance Leipold recent contract extension included language that held Travis Goff accountable for plans to improve the football facility and David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium. Leipold's contract, which included a $12.5 million buyout, stated that meaningful and substantial progress toward renovating the football complex must be made by July 1st, 2023. Otherwise, an aforementioned buyout will be waived and Leipold could leave KU for $0. The same exact clause is used for the stadium with the goal of adding square footage to the facility with an end date of December 13th, 2023. His contract was extended through 2029. And I'm trying to see what else they said right here. The new locker room is going to be, it said, I'll also show you a picture of what it is. The new locker room, they have a 15,000 square foot weight room, will include a major investment into sports science with force plates and equipment for resistance training. And yeah, that's right there. And let me show you a picture of what they they put on the internet of what it may look like. And there you go. Let me zoom in on that. But that's the rendering we're seeing right here. I don't like how that looks. 1 second.
I mean, my first thoughts on this is it's a huge thing for recruits and getting this team better on the field, because I know a big argument was, all right, we need to get the product on the field up better or before we do stadium renovations. And I think this does both at the same time, where it's going to get us better recruits for a better product. And sure, the fans don't really get to experience this side of it a whole lot. It's showing us that they're willing to invest into the stadium, and there's just far more to come in the next 2 years.
I think it also just goes to show, because didn't they just build that like whole indoor facility 10 years ago and all that? That shows how much, in 10 years we've fallen behind. Like, this is stuff that needs to be constantly improved. You got to be pumping money into this shit on a year-end basis. Like, this doesn't, like, I read a book where it was in Oklahoma State and the other school was Oregon, to rebuild the football program from scratch. It's $350 million. And this is in 2008. It's a $350 million check to Oklahoma State. The Holder guy, the oil guy who rebuilt OK State's program, he's like the one who financed it all.
Oh, yeah, the dude who was the stadium named after.
Yeah, that guy. It's H. His name starts with an H. And then the other guy, Phil Knight. And both of them, the guy from OK State I know more about, he was like retired. He's like, look, I want to do something good for my school. He's like, we suck at football. He's like, all my friends went to Oklahoma and Texas, because he was like in the oil business. And he's like, I want OK State to be. And he goes, how much do you need? And the athletic director is like, what? He's like, how much do you need? He's like, let me get back to you. Supposedly like spent like 2 weeks with his like running the facilities, everything from recruits, all this. He's like, 350 million. He's like, well, he's like, explain new stadium, new weight room, new, cafeteria, all this stuff. He's like, for recruits, for the facilities and all this, 350 million. That's how OK State in like the early 2000s became, what they were in the early 2010s. And same thing with Oregon. That's why Oregon, the Michael James, Marcus Mariota, all that, that's because of Phil Knight. Same thing. They basically had 350 to 500. It's probably closer now to 500 million. But yeah, it's basically $500,000 you need to turn around a football program like Kansas that's been dormant. Is you need to put half a billion dollars into it for the recruits, for the facilities, for branding, for the it's even the staff, the people that we're bringing in. We're constantly bringing in people all over the country to like do different shit in terms of administration and other things. It's wild what it requires to become an elite football program.
Yeah, like what Owen said earlier was like, that's basically sums it up. People were wanting to have the attitude of, well, we need to see the product in the field before we invest money. No, because if you just don't invest money in the terrible product on the field, it's going to continue to be terrible. You need to have renovations like nice locker room, nice weight room, great amenities for the players, because when recruits come and visit, even if the football program isn't quite there yet, they can see that they have the necessary things to make their life, one, fun on campus, and two, stay to build the program. Like, you have to spend money. You have to spend money to make money. And the fact that we didn't do anything really with our football program since like 2010 or whatever, when we did the renovation for that for the complex, like, it had to change, and Lance made sure that was in his contract.
Well, I was about to say is, you see in professional sports teams, Cincinnati Bengals finally freaking built an indoor facility. You're seeing with professional sports teams, even though you're a professional sports team, it used to be like, oh, fuck it. Some teams have nice facilities, some don't. Players are still going to sign because of either the location or it's because it's a professional sport teams. But now pro teams are realizing, damn, even if we're in a small market, we can entice big people, big fishes, and all these people to come if we have the best amenities, if we have the best facilities, and it's like you said, it's not only providing them the best place to work out and work on their craft in college, but to provide them with an experience. And I wouldn't even be surprised in like 5 years they build a football and a basketball dorm to replace McCarthy Hall and Stouffer Flint, and like invest, because I bet you in Bama and all that shit, the football players have their own like complex. I'm actually going to Google that real quick. What are your thoughts, Owens?
Man, I'm just excited to see where the stadium renovations go. I'm kind of hoping they put like seat backs in the stadium when they get to the actual David Booth Memorial Stadium part to it. Like the metal benches, sure, it's a good, or like it does the job. It's a classic college football thing. But if they make like real seats like at Arrowhead, I feel like that's going to make the fan enjoyment a little bit better or a lot better. But
Seats would be nice. And I hate how like, and I hope it's not those bullshit like fake seats that they have like scattered throughout the stadium already that are like those weird metal with like weird padding that they feel weird.
Fuck those ones. We want real seats.
That's so much better than what they had before. Like the ones before were just like an inch foam pad and it did absolutely nothing.
That's what I'm talking about. The inch foam pads. Are there different ones now that they have to stay?
So the old ones were blue. These ones are like black, and they're like kind of suspended above the seat. I don't know.
I haven't seen those. I was referring.
You're referring to the old ones.
The ones that Owens just described. They have the weird blue plastic covering. They were like an inch foam pad, and they had like the metal wire that held them up. Because I remember
those things fucking suck.
A bunch of guys in the house stole them because I remember that they were at the house during freshman year when they installed them. And those were terrible because I already sat on them and like it was weird. Yeah. So the new
still metal, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It didn't do shit for you. Like, so it was just a waste of space.
But yeah, the ones they had last
year, it made it more uncomfortable.
Like it was kind of awkward, but it was still much, much better. But yeah, I'd rather have the plastic like seats that you have to pull down the seat to sit in and just kind of roll with that. I mean, it might reduce capacity a little bit, but also.
All right, can we be honest? That stadium seats, what is it, 55,000 people? No fucking college football is maybe in the South can be, but if you're not in the South, no college football stadium should be over 35,000.
No, man, like Michigan and Ohio State, like.
Okay, no, you get yes, those two, but like besides the blue blood, like a Kansas, even if we were dogs at KU at football, we shouldn't have a stadium more than 35.
But it's just college football is like more designed with getting people in the door than it is with like making it like a spaceship like NFL stadiums.
I guess so. I mean, I have no
idea.
Because
they can't build something like the fucking Allegiant Stadium like the Raiders or, that SoFi or like Jerry World because it's a little different in college.
Well, that's what KU is trying to do. They're about to build a second hotel, right? Where like right.
KU's trying to build a Jerry World.
That's what the whole thing is. They're creating an entry gate.
Can you imagine they put a retractable roof like Jerry World?
I just want to get rid of the field goal club. I still got beef with it.
Fuck field goal club.
It's just so bad. It looks bad. Takes up.
It's so bad.
It takes up space for no reason.
No, you know what I love about
the field goal club? Makes our sellout look not like a sellout.
I think also the best part though about the field goal club is when someone's not paying attention and it's a low kick and it just fucking smacks their drinks or domes them. Like, and the best is when look how they have that little raft where people have their drinks. Yeah. And sometimes the ball gets there and it just wipes out people's drinks. And I'm like, yeah, you fucks.
That's what you get for sitting by the fucking goalpost, you degenerates.
It's not also a good view of the field.
I was about to say that. I was like, you probably spent the same amount of money as what you could have cost for like a suite. For like, you probably could have paid maybe a little bit more and gotten to just sit in a box or something. I would say, like, dude, if I had the money, I would always sit in a box. After working, after having a media pass and being able, best views from the box. Best view. You might not be able to like pick out like skill positions, the numbers, you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit harder. Like there's a reason why half the people in there have binoculars, but like way worth it.
Yeah, I mean the booths need to be upgraded to just for like the high roller donors for KU. Like I've just heard things about you have to bring your own food, you have to bring your own drinks, and have to have it like in a cooler a day before the game to like even get it up there.
That's wild.
Like it's just such a dumb process. They need to fix it.
Yeah,
All right.
because we want people to keep coming back and giving us money. So
I think we're going to wrap it up there. We'll be back shortly. But is there anything else you want to wrap this up? I think we got through everything we wanted to talk about.
Man, I'm just excited for this season. I know I have more friends and family willing to get season tickets with me this year, which is always a plus. So I'm ready to get the season rolling, and it's going to be a long summer because I'm just going to be ready to get it going.
I want better KU football merch, and I want us to have a yellow jersey.
oh god, no yellow. But I am excited for the season. And oh god, we better not have a yellow jersey. I can't believe you brought that up.
I'm thinking Baylor's neon yellow basketball.
No.
We're not going to wear a yellow jersey. But
All right, I'm getting that out of my head.
This season, we had a lot of positives last year. I want revenge against Arkansas.
All right, first off, for the basketball,
no.
it'd be like kind of like how Maryland has theirs, and I'm not saying like this. I'm saying more like how Maryland supposedly had like this, where they do like Maryland has.
No, that's not KU, man. I'm sorry.
The only way they can get away with it is because of their flag.
Look at those Len Bias jerseys.
Like this. God. Tell me a KU basketball jersey like this wouldn't be so sick.
It wouldn't, man.
We actually have a bunch of yellow apparel.
Dude, why are there so many Len Bias jerseys in this image church?
Because
I keep noticing it. There's so many. It's like all Len. You just looked up yellow Maryland jersey. Len Bias. There it is again.
I'd be okay with it for one basketball game, and that's
Wait, did Angel Reese play for Maryland?
Yeah, she played at Maryland. She's from Baltimore, bro.
What?
Yes, her and Jordan Hawkins are cousins.
She's from Randallstown. Oh wait, she went to St.
Her and Jordan Hawkins are cousins.
She went to St. Francis. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, she played at Maryland and transferred to LSU.
She's from Randallstown, though.
Oh, I don't fucking know. That's in the. I'm assuming like it's somewhere in fucking Maryland.
Yeah, I know. I did not know she was. Her mom played for UMBC. Her dad. Also, Jordan Hawkins did not know he. Oh, he's from Gaithersburg, so he's actually he's closer to DC. And then that's cool.
I vote no to yellow,
dude. Angel Reese majored in communications because she wanted to be a sports broadcaster, and I just want to say I was like you comms and like that's not not the same. Like if she did journalism, that's like how that would make sense, but you just got a comms degree. Like you do like sports.
Bro, she's gonna play basketball, so it doesn't really
matter. I know, but she said right there saying like the reason why she
guess, yeah, but like she probably will be a broadcaster because she's gonna play basketball on there.
Well, I'm a bigger fan of Angel Reese now. But also, I also want to say, why is Angel Reese playing with eyelash extensions in?
It is, man. I feel like that would make
sounds yeah, that's what I'm saying. That sounds like
if she clearly it's not affecting her.
It's not affecting her. No, but
clearly it does not.
I don't have a problem with it. In my mind, though,
I feel like it would make you worse.
Or like
harder to play with.
Yeah.
Clearly, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, and clearly she doesn't give a fuck. And it's
no. Good for her. And I know some of them are like permanent. Like there's like the ones like Nikki used to get before she does like the ones that she can take off, but she used to get the ones where she'd go like once a month, and they like she spent it's like you know like how like weaves you get like glued into your hair. It's like eyelash extensions you get permanently glued and they fall out naturally over a course of a month. But again, either way, if she had those, like again, nothing wrong with it. Like do what you please. I don't have care. I just think in like playing basketball, I've been swiped in the eye before. And you remember like Jared Allen? I feel like someone just swipes you in the eye, having those eyelash extensions, you're gonna get like an eyelash in your eye way easier.
I mean,
yeah.
Imagine if someone's intentionally going after those now.
That's just like maybe
that play the game. Whose fault is it? And
not that I like again like there's no problem. I'm just thinking like I feel like that's just
exactly. Just from a purely basketball standpoint, it just feels like it would be more difficult.
It's like when
people issue waiting to happen.
Exactly. It's like when people running backs who have long hair after they pass the rule that it's cool to tackle people by their hair. It's just like, okay, bro, you choosing not to
remember
do
when Larry Johnson, Chiefs legend, tackled Troy Polamalu with an interception returned by his hair?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if like Derrick Henry, he's like, I got long hair, but I'm not gonna be an idiot. I'm gonna like wrap it up into and tuck it in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Doom.
But it's like the other guys who don't wrap it up and then they complain about being tackled by your hair. I'm like, bro, you're choosing. Like, it's like I'm like comparing in comparison to the eyelash extension. I was like,
yeah,
you can't complain that like someone just did that when you kind of put it out there for it to be there, you know?
Then you know they're gonna do anything they can to tackle. So
yeah, that's all.
I like how we said we were wrapping this up, and here we are talking about eyelashes and hair.
We got on the Angel Reese. Angel Reese is dominating the news. So
well, there was a bunch of like Angel Reese like on Maryland. I didn't know that, and now like I guess I'm an Angel Reese fan. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Cheers.
This is a pro Angel Reese podcast.
Yeah, this is a pro Angel Reese podcast, especially from Baltimore.
A pro Angel Reese podcast. That's how we'll end it.
What was if like I'm ever in the same media room? 410, stand up. I don't have a 410 number, but like I lived at the 410. My parents gave me a 352 because they had a 352 number, even though I wasn't living in a 352 area anymore. They just were like, we should all have the same like zip area code.
Yes.
But my little sister has a 410 number.
All right. Pro women's sports.
Pro Angel Reese.
Well, I have problem. I think a lot of women. I think a lot of women's sports need to be adjusted rule wise. I think I'm the guy to do that, but like that's your going
there. Another guy making rules for women.
This is not that, but we're not getting. This is not what this podcast is about.
All right, peace out, guys.
Peace.